Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
I want you, Captain America, to help me rebuild the Avengers.
The Avengers?
Yes, sir.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you.
When I became president, first thing I asked was about the secrets. Aliens. Who killed JFK? You're the only one I really trust. I'd like to talk to you about the future.
All right, folks, you know who we are. We're going to skip the introductions and just get straight to it. I had really high hopes for Superman. Really high hopes. And I don't know, I text Mike after he saw it, and he goes, I guess I'm just not a fan of James Gunn films. And I like Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. I don't care for Part 3. 1 is fine. I don't think I've seen anything else this guy's ever made. But Zack Snyder was right. He caught a lot of flack, right? A whole lot of flack. The ultimate version of Batman vs. Superman is a much better film. The Snyder Cut is a much better film. But I'll still say the ultimate version is the one that should have been released in theaters and it'd have been fine. I love Man of Steel. This movie is, and I texted Mike, I was like, this is weird. And if you're going to give Zack Snyder crap for Superman snapping Zod's necks, which I still contend makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because if he's going to have a no killing policy, the fact that he's killed before and then has a reason to say, no, this isn't right, and you can see the anguish on his face when he does it, cool.
Exactly. That's the whole point. He wasn't Superman yet until he did that. Yep. He hadn't fully formed. And then when we see him at the end, when he's talking to the general, like that's when he really comes into his own.
And this guy, and I'm just going to get out the way because if you haven't seen it yet, it's on HBO Max. Or is it just Max? It's, I don't know, whatever.
It's HBO Max now.
To retcon one of the most important things of this guy's backstory, that his parents sent him there to enslave Earth and have a harem and populate the Earth. Well, damn it, that was pretty much Zod's plan in Man of Steel. Just you reworded it. You weren't gonna terraform the entire planet. What in the hell was he thinking? And then I saw his justification of it, which really made it worse. I wanted to have my own take on the Superman mythos without changing the elements that really matter to the character. I didn't take away his compassion, his heart. No, and then he goes, and I wanted to make, his Earth parents mean so much to him. Oh man.
I mean,
just say you
go ahead.
Just say you wanted to change something for the sake of changing something. Because that's all what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
I just want to change.
Because to me, part of the essential character of Superman is that he is trying to live up to the legacy of his father and his parents, and live up to the sacrifice that they made in order to send him to Earth to be a help and a savior to the people of Earth. Like, that is part of his character. That's an essential part of his character. And to just completely throw that over, although, I mean, let's be fair. Like, he didn't know that part of it, which I think is probably just like I don't know. That's just kind of a.
Wait, something else just occurred to me.
Yeah.
They said the recording was messed up, right?
Right. That's what I mean. He didn't know it.
But the engineer with Earth technology was able to fix the recording,
but the
but
robots
his
couldn't.
robots, with his superior advanced Kryptonian technology, couldn't.
Yeah, I guess they weren't looking for it. I don't know.
And okay, here's another thing that bothered that that really irked me. I get why he didn't do like we didn't need an origin story, right? But that intro, 300 million years ago, metahumans. 30 years ago, Soups gets here. 3 days ago, he loses a fight. There are better ways to just like drop us in the middle of something.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't mind that part. What bothered me about it was that, you know, you do this kind of heavy opening. He just lost the fight. He just got his butt kicked. He's lying in the snow bleeding. He calls the dog. The dog comes over. The dog takes him back to the fortress. He goes into the fortress. The robots come. They got the gizmo that's shining the sunlight on him, which is apparently agonizing to him. And then like 30 seconds later, they're making a joke about the dog messing up the place. Like,
yeah.
And I think I told you about this, the scene where, you know, he's having this big, heavy conversation with Lois, but in the background, you're watching the fight.
The aliens destroying the city?
No, where the Justice Gang is fighting the giant eyeball.
Yeah.
You know, and so they're having this real heavy emotional moment, but in the background, you know, Guy Gardner's making a giant green bat. It's like, I don't know what the tone of this movie is supposed to be. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it.
And as much as we get on this for Marvel, this was worse. This was way worse. It felt like the movie couldn't find its tone. And I don't know what the message was supposed to be when it was done.
Exactly.
Like, after it was all said and done, I'm just sitting like, what was this about? And I wanted to like it so bad.
So did I.
And I found myself trying to make excuses. And I want to say by that last third, I just couldn't do it anymore. I could not do it anymore. Like, the government knows Lex has this pocket dimension prison, right? I think that was...
Yeah.
He gets to lock up his ex-girlfriend? Like, you get to imprison people that you just don't like?
Apparently he does.
Which, I don't know if that was supposed to be allegory for our current times, but... Oh, man. And then, I don't know if I was supposed to watch Creature Commandos. The government hates metahumans? Okay, so if Amanda Waller was in that scene with Rick Flag, then I'd get it. But, well, Rick Flag Sr., it was just a lot going on in this film. And there needed to be a little bit of exposition.
Yeah.
So some kind of backstory to the stuff that was going on. And it just I didn't... Oh, man. And I feel it's weird because I'm watching it with Dash, my son, for those listening don't know. And he loved it. And I'm like, oh, this is what my dad must have thought when we were watching Batman Forever. And he thought it was hot trash. And I loved it. Like, it wasn't all bad. He nailed Jimmy.
It's not for you.
He got Jimmy. Yeah. He got Jimmy Olsen. They didn't just, shoot him off within the first 5 minutes of the film.
True.
Mr. Terrific was cool. The music that was playing during that fight scene was completely unnecessary. Can we stop with that too?
With what?
We don't need like licensed music during every fight scene anymore.
No. Yeah. How about a score? How about some score?
Yeah.
How about you write something for the movie? You don't just. It's not a needle drop.
it was cool in the first Suicide Squad. It worked in Guardians. I'm over it. I like scores.
Suicide Squad's got a different kind of tone to it and a different thing. Although, like, and again, maybe I'm not a James Gunn fan. Like, I don't not like the first Suicide Squad movie, the David Ayer.
Talking about
the David Ayer movie.
Same,
right? I kind of like that movie.
Agree.
The James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, I don't really like. I don't know what the tone's supposed to be. I don't know what it's supposed to mean. And why is everything a giant eyeball? Like, what is the fetish that James Gunn has with eyes?
I don't know.
Why is Rocket always stealing eyes? I don't know. Why does he have an eye in his pocket? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I don't know if I like James Gunn movies. And I'm not sure if he's the guy that should be running DC. Like when you compare this to Man of Steel, this makes Man of Steel look like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like, even with him not saving Kevin Costner, this makes Man of Steel look like a masterpiece. Because at least I knew what that movie was trying to say. And I could see.
And let's be fair, right? There is some validity to the idea that it's a movie for a new generation. If you look at like 1978 Superman versus Man of Steel, they are completely different. They're made for different people in a different time. And this is made for different people in a different time. Maybe it's just not for me. I get it. But I'm with you in that I don't know, like, going forward. Like, I had really high hopes for the DCU going forward, and now I'm kind of, I'm missing Zack Snyder right now. Like, where's my Justice, next movie?
I was so ready to like this thing. It didn't have a high bar to clear for me, either of us. I think the guy the guy that plays Superman, David, was it Corset?
Corn Sweat.
I think he did a good job.
I do too. And I liked Rachel Brosnahan.
Yeah, she was good. I like Mr. Terrific. I think Guy Gardner, I watched him in The Rookie, I can't remember his name. I think he did a pretty good job. I think the issue is with the director and the story. Even Lex was pretty good. The film is just, like I tell you, and I just keep coming back to it, it's weird. And I get it's supposed to be for a new generation, a different time. It just was, I just came back to weird. I know he's like, I'm telling this overarching story, yada yada yada.
That's great. It's part of the overarching story that Kara is a drunk party girl.
Oh man, and now, like, where he said he didn't want it to be like Marvel and everything had to be interconnected, you had to watch anything. Apparently there's some really key stuff in Peacemaker season 2 that I kind of gotta watch. And maybe if I watch it, it makes this movie look better. It's just, oh man.
I don't know if I'm willing to take the chance.
Maybe I'll just watch somebody's recap on YouTube.
Maybe. Listen to the podcast or something.
I guess. I don't have high hopes for whatever he does with Batman.
No.
I just don't. Like, after seeing this, and the fact that Damian's going to be in it, and I hate the character. I hate the concept
of Damian Wayne.
With the heat of 1,000 suns, because I think it is so unnecessary. And it detracts from the fact that the man has 3 sons. He has Dick. He has Jason. Crap, I can't remember the last one's name. It's my favorite one. Dick, Jason Todd, and Tim. Those are his children. That is the point. The point is that he doesn't have biological children.
Right.
He has these wards. And whoever thought that, hey, let's give him a half clone of him and Talia al Ghul as his son, who's a brat, that's a good idea. No, it's a horrible idea. That man has a half clone son. It is stupid. And that's what we're gonna. Okay, I guess. We'll see.
We definitely will see. It's yeah. I don't know. Like you're saying, like I had
keep talking.
I had high hopes for this. I really was thinking that, all right, they're going to take another turn, because let's be honest, the DCEU movies were starting to tail off a little bit. But I don't know, man. I just do not know if the direction this is going is where it needs to be going.
All right. Sorry about that. Hello?
Yeah.
All right. So what did you say as I had to close the door because my furnace got loud?
I was saying that, to be fair, the DCEU movies, as much as I liked them, they were starting to tail off a little bit in their quality. Wonder Woman 84 wasn't all that great.
Nope.
Aquaman 2, yeah.
I liked Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey was good. I did like that one. And Suicide Squad 2, the Suicide Squad, whatever. So it's like, okay, maybe it is time for a new breath. Maybe it is time for somebody to take a new look at this. I don't know if this is going to be the way, for me, the way forward.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't. I just don't. I don't see it. Like, that was supposed to be your lead in. That was supposed to be the thing that you had to hit a home run on, and you didn't.
Yeah, so I'll just sit around and wait for the Batman Part 2, and then see where we go after that.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. Really, really disappointed. Maybe they should have just let The Rock run the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, Black Adam's looking a little better than.
Man, I can't believe this thing was like, and it's weird because it wasn't. It's not bad. Like, trying to think what was bad. Flash bad.
Well, yeah, a few things are.
I just expected more from a guy who gets all this critical acclaim. And then it's sort of like, maybe he needs a Kevin Feige. Like, maybe he needs somebody, like, when you're bowling and you put those guardrails up.
Right.
Maybe he needs somebody to keep him on a track. Like, hey, you gotta land this plane here in this amount of time. Because there were points where I felt like this movie was like just in a bunch of different places.
Right. It seems like almost like there was too much that he was trying to get done in the scope of one movie. And maybe it should have been two, or maybe it should have been, a part one and part two, or maybe it should have been just two different movies. Maybe should have been a Justice Gang movie separate from this one or something. I don't know. It's like it just kept going back and forth between these things, and like I said, I don't know how I was supposed to feel about any of it, or what the tonal center of it was, because it just kept moving.
Yeah,
I mean, and it did do some stuff right. Like we said, David Cornsweet was good. I don't know if I like his Clark that much, but I like his Superman. Rachel Brosnahan, I thought she was really good. I think they wasted Wendell Pierce. You have a great actor and you don't give him anything to do.
Like Lawrence Fishburne got wasted.
Yeah. At least Lawrence Fishburne got some snappy one-liners off.
Yeah. And Wendell Pierce is a good actor.
He is. You know, there's a lot of like Superman fan stuff, you know, fan service in there, like the robots, like the way the Fortress of Solitude looked, like, you know, Delaware plates on her car, like, you know, all these little kind of things that were kind of cool. But then it's like they do stuff. Oh, the walking through the fight unscathed thing. I hate that.
Which fight?
You know, where they're fighting in the office and Lex is just walking through it.
Yes.
As everything's going on, where they're fighting the robots. You know, and you know, doesn't get touched, nothing happens to him at all. You know, he's just so focused on what he's doing. He's just walking right through that. Like, that is such an old trope, and it's like, you know what? It worked in that Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and it hasn't worked since.
Yeah, because didn't he do that in Guardians?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when Quill's walking through that temple.
Right. So it's like, yeah, you know. And I just thought, honestly, that most of the Justice Gang stuff was just a distraction.
Could have dealt without it.
Could have absolutely dealt with that. I mean, Mr. Terrific was good.
Or give me one of them. I don't need all three.
Right. Introduce them. Show me that they exist. And then, bye Hawkgirl, bye Guy. Let's just focus on Mr. Terrific because he's got a piece, something to do in the story.
Yep.
And then we'll do more with them later. Like, there's way too much Guy Gardner in this movie.
Yeah, he did have a lot.
Well, that's his buddy, you know.
Now I think about, like, you just needed to tell me a Superman story. This didn't need to be your Age of Ultron. I didn't need you laying out the future in this film. And that's the thing that Man of Steel did so well. It just told me a Superman story. Like, the only thing you got from Man of Steel, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like, dropping little hints was what? That Wayne Tech satellite towards the end of the movie? That's it. It was
in Man of Steel? Yeah.
Yeah. There was way too much, like, him trying to lay the groundwork for other stuff. And I don't know if that's what he was trying to do, but he has to be smart enough to know that that's how it comes off.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was just trying to, you know, lay some crumbs out there so we could pick them up later, and 5 movies from now we can all go, oh, look how clever he was in the first movie that he set all this stuff up. It's like, I don't need that.
No, I don't. Just tell me this story.
Like, you had one job. Give me a good Superman story.
Man. It wasn't even that.
Speaking of Ultron, you know, their Ultron's coming back
for Doomsday or Secret Wars.
What?
Oh, he is.
Yeah, that's what I read this week.
Somebody must have told him, "Hey, you keep wasting these good actors as villains." You know what I finally watched? Punisher.
Oh, really?
Why didn't you tell me that thing was good?
I think I did, but okay.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah, John Berthol's great.
Fighting people and barking like a goddamn dog while he's killing them and all over the place. Like, he's perfect. That's one thing I can give it to him. They nailed their casting. And even though that was like a Netflix thing, absolutely nailed the casting.
Yeah, those Netflix shows were better than they were given credit for. I mean, they were uneven. I mean, Daredevil was good all the way through.
Yep.
Punisher was good. Jessica Jones was good all the way through, although the first season I think was better than the second season.
Yeah, I agree.
But a lot of that was David Tennant, you know?
Yeah.
Same thing with Luke Cage. I think the first season was better than the second season.
So all right. I think Cage has the same problem in both seasons. It starts well, or it's uneven. Everything up until Cottonmouth dies in season 1 is really, really good.
Well, and that's it. That's what really, for me, what makes season 1 better is Mahershala Ali.
Yes. Season 2, because once Diamondback comes into season 1, it just all goes downhill.
Exactly.
And then season 2, it's if they'd have kept the focus on just him versus Bushmaster, it works well. Once you start getting into the love stuff with Hernan and Cottonmouth's cousin, it gets really weird.
Yeah.
And it veers off track. Luke's problem is he keeps getting overshadowed. Like, I thought Bushmaster was more interesting than him, and then Cottonmouth is way more interesting than Luke.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
And Iron Fist season 1 is just complete. Bleh.
But I think also it's kind of like they just tried to put too much in it.
Yep.
It's like your show's called Luke Cage. Why is there so much Misty Knight in it? Why is there so much Claire Temple in it, you know?
Yep.
I mean, and look, those are great characters and great actors, but like your show's Luke Cage.
Yeah. And then, like, rewatching it, I think I rewatched it in the spring. It gets real preachy and heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And I think it tries to drop too many things that if you don't already know about it, you won't pick up on it at all.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of, like, HBCU references and, like, 90s hip-hop references, but they're just so heavy-handed. And it's like, there are points where I'm just like, okay, I get it, Mr. Preacher Man. So we'll see what happens, because apparently I think he's coming back.
Who?
Can't remember the guy's name.
Mike Coulter?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So when they were filming season 2 of Daredevil, he had posted a picture of him and Finn Jones in New York, but he didn't put a caption. And people started, like, putting 2 and 2 together. So we'll see.
Really? They're bringing Danny Rand back?
So I don't think he was a bad Iron Fist. Like, the character the version of him we got in season 2, where he's much more, like, laid back and carefree, was a lot better. The way, and it was weird where he had, like, the Iron Fist guns. I was like, okay, we're getting a little deep here now. I just think he needs a revamp.
Yeah, I just think for me, they just missed the mark with that show. I mean, it had good elements to it, but I don't know. I just think maybe he wasn't the right guy for it, or maybe it was the writing. I don't know. He just seemed kind of wishy-washy for a lot of it.
Completely get it.
I mean, I liked Colleen. I liked Elektra. The thing with his father, his stepfather, that was all kind of weird.
Yeah, and then, like, it was like season 1. It was like about corporate espionage, and I'm like, really? This is where we're going?
Yeah, that seemed to maybe not be.
Just seemed really weird to me.
You know what was a good? You know what was a good show, and a lot of people slept on it, was Legion.
So I never watched that. What was that about?
So it was, it was about. What was it about? I mean, so essentially, it was about this mutant named David Heller.
Isn't that
David Haller,
Xavier's son?
You don't find that out until like the end. I mean, if you know the story, you know it's Xavier's son. But he's got, he's got these crazy mutant powers, and it starts at like the first season, like he's just trying to control them. You don't really understand what they are. There's a lot of like kind of surrealistic stuff, just because of what his powers are. He gets diagnosed with as being schizophrenic when it's really his mutation.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then there's like other mutants within him, which is where the Legion thing comes from. There's the Shadow King, and there's like, and you don't really you don't really understand what's going on until maybe the end of the first season, and then the story really starts to get going. But it's a very unique look at the way these characters are. And I think it's a lot more in line with like what the X-Men comic kind of tone is in a lot of ways. Especially when it gets into like the kind of the darker psychological aspects of it. It was a really good show, and but it's a lot. Like, you got to be ready to watch it. So
okay,
but I would rate it up there with like Daredevil and Punisher as being like a good television, Marvel based television show.
I would definitely add that to the list. I gotta finish Foundation and Invasion. What else have I? Yeah, I think that's it. I just started watching, like, someone just told me just pop on Punisher. I never finished it. Breeze through season 1, and I think I'm towards the end of season 2. And again, it makes me wonder, because I saw the quote from Bernthal where he was like, they had approached him to come back, and when he saw whatever it was that they wanted to do with Frank, he said absolutely not. And it wasn't until he got assurances that some people from the Netflix series would be coming back and they'd get to do his version that he agreed to come back. I would love to know what they absolutely told that man they wanted their version of the Punisher to be, because I'm pretty sure it involved a bunch of jokes and a bunch of dumb stuff.
Yeah, well, the same thing happened with Born Again.
Yep.
They took a stop, and D'Onofrio and Charlie were like, kind of like, no, we need to rethink this whole thing. And I don't know what it was before, but I like what we got.
Well, it would have been Matt doing his walk of shame like he did in She-Hulk and that Hawaiian shirt Kingpin. And do you think after Secret Wars wraps up, Feige's done? And not like leave Disney, but does he move on to like Star Wars or something?
I don't know. Tough to say. Maybe.
Because it's been over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it just, for whatever reason, this just hasn't been working recently. Like, I watched Thunderbolts and it was okay. Like, it was just okay. That Eyes of Wakanda was pretty good. so far this Marvel Zombies thing is good, but there have been misses,
There's definitely been misses.
and I also don't know if like the kids my son's age are really into Marvel. Like I'm just not sure. Okay, don't know if they're into the MCU.
Yeah.
My son loves Spider-Man,
Right.
but he loves playing Spider-Man on PS5.
Yeah.
He's not interested in the new Wolverine game. He doesn't read comic books. He likes Lego Avengers. He's not really interested in the MCU. Like, he wants to go see the new Spider-Man movie. And I was like, hey, you want to see like Doomsday? And he's like, yeah, I'll go with you, but just doesn't hit for him. And I can't speak for all kids, but
well, I think it's because, I mean, this has been going on for a long time, and we are invested. We've got, 17 years in this thing.
And we were invested before these were movies.
Right. But, we've been doing this jump. It's like, it's like when I think about like Star Wars, like my Star Wars experience is a lot different from other people's. I remember the time before Star Wars, when there was no Star Wars, before the dark times. So, people coming in and their experiences, the prequels, or their experiences, the sequels, or their experiences, the TV shows, we're not seeing eye to eye on things. And so with Dash, it's like probably the same thing. It's like, what was his entry point and how much of the story had bypassed him at that point where he's, looking forward. He's looking for something, I think, that belongs to him. And hopefully Marvel can give him that at some point.
Yeah.
What does he think about does he like the Snyderverse stuff?
Loves it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves it. So in the Spider-Man game, you can turn on the effects from Into the Spider-Verse, and he turns them on for both, for Miles and Peter.
Oh, wow.
And will not play the game without it. Like with the zap, boom, and like that pixelated art style that they had, will not play the game without it. Got his hair cut, like, because for a long time he had like locks.
Yeah.
Cut his hair down like Miles. Just got his Spider-Man costume for Halloween. Wants my mother-in-law to, spray paint half of it black so half of it looks like the symbiote. Absolutely loves Spider-Man. And it's weird because growing up, I liked the Spider-Man cartoon that came out on Fox, and I tried to get him into it. He got him a little bit, but just there's a lot of death, and I'm like looking back and I'm watching, like there was a lot of death in those cartoons. Like I put on the Iron Man one, and they addressed Tony's drinking problem, and I'm sitting back like, geez, I don't know if I should have been watching this at 9 years old, watching Tony Stark get drunk. Like there's an episode where he's drunk, Rhodey takes the armor, becomes War Machine, but then Rhodey doesn't want to wear it anymore because he keeps having panic attacks while he's flying in it. All right, what have you been watching?
Well, I've been watching actually a few things. Actually, a couple of which you're not going to care about.
Let me know.
I just finished the third season of Strange New Worlds. I know you don't care about that.
Actually, I need to get into it. I've been wanting to try and get into it. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a good entry point. It's a good show. It's not too heavy on the lore. It's entertaining. It's kind of tonally up and down because they do like really serious episodes and they do like really kind of lighthearted episodes, but they try a lot of different things, and I got to give them that. And the season finale of the season was really good. The last couple episodes are really good. So it's a really good show, and I really love the cast I think they're all fantastic.
Okay, and that's on Paramount, right?
It's on Paramount.
Hmm.
And I just finished. I know you're not going to care about this one. I just finished the first season of Alien Earth.
Yep, that's where I get off the train.
Yeah, I am a huge Alien universe fan. Since the first movie came out, and it kind of went off the rails for a while. It really, really badly. I mean, the first movie was great. Second movie was super great. Third and fourth movies were kind of and then the newer movies, Covenant was good. The other ones were kind of, they're fine. Romulus and but this show really harkens back to the first movie, and it's really
so
good.
I heard that this takes a detour from some things.
Does. So this movie actually takes place, I think it's this season takes place, I think it's 2 years before the first movie is supposed to take place. So it's a prequel. Barely. And it takes a couple of liberties with the lore, but not much. And it really kind of dives heavily into, it's really about the idea of, like, what does it mean to be alive? What does... All right, so I'll give you kind of a brief summary. So in this world, this is Earth in, I think, 21, 22, something like that. Basically, governments are gone. The Earth is run by 5 corporations, and then there's space exploration. They're out there like grabbing resources and stuff like that. And the 2 biggest companies are one called Weyland-Yutani, which is the company that we see in the Alien movie, and the other one is this company Prodigy. And so there are, in this universe, we knew ahead of time, in this universe there are synthetics, which are basically androids, and those were in all the movies. There is there's a cyborg who is a human being who has, like, technology built into his body. And then there are, what we discover in the first episode, like what this is about, is there are what they call hybrids, which are synthetic bodies, so they're android bodies that they have placed a human consciousness into. And because of basically the data set, the size of the data set involved in that, they could only do children.
What the heck?
Because adult brains are too big. Because we have a lifetime of memories and emotions and things like that rattling around our brains, and they haven't cracked that nut yet. So the only thing that they can do children.
Why? But what kind of children would you place inside? Okay,
it's just getting to that. So the children that they've selected for this are all like terminal cancer patients. They're dying anyway. And basically you get the idea, like, their families kind of sign them over to this company, maybe with the idea that they were getting paid, maybe with the idea that there was like some like super hospice, or maybe with the idea that it was like they were going to try to cure them or whatever. And so it kind of brings forth this question of, like, what does it mean to be alive? And are these, because the kids die in the transfer. So it's like, are these really like the consciousness of a person? Is it like just an AI that's pretending, that's programmed to be like the person? it's like, where does life begin and end kind of thing. And, what does it mean? Like, because they're synth bodies, so they're stronger, they're faster. They're like, they put them into adult bodies, but they're like adult bodies that are stronger. They don't have to eat. They don't run out of power. They don't get sick. So there's like all these questions about like, are they really, like, who are they? Are they really alive? Like, what? But they have the mental capacity of like 11
Jeez.
So yeah. And they find out like they have these different skills. Like there's one in particular she's the main character. She's got like she was the first one, and she's got a lot of abilities that the other ones don't have. So then in the midst of this, also in the first episode, there's a ship that has been out, a Wayland ship that's been out, basically collecting aliens, like different types of aliens. And so monsters, and bringing them back to Earth to study them, but the ship is sabotaged, the ship crashes, and it's a Wayland ship, and it crashes in a Prodigy city. So now Prodigy has control of it, and so they have the monsters. So there's xenomorphs, the quote alien, but there's a bunch of different other ones. The freakiest one of which is one which I think is scarier than the xenomorph, is this one they call it an image. So basically it's a giant eyeball.
Great, James Gunn.
Like the size of, like maybe the size of like a pool, like a billiards ball. And it has legs on it like an octopus, so it can skitter across the floor. And it's very, very intelligent. And when it attacks something, some kind of animal or something, what it does is it attacks it, it pulls out one of its eyes, and inserts itself into the eye cavity, and then it can control the thing. So we see it like at the beginning, the first time we see it, it's in a cat, and then it winds up in a person, but very briefly. And then it winds up in they catch it and they put it in a cage with a sheep, and so it takes over the sheep. And so the sheep, like, it's the evidence that's like, it can count, it can communicate. Like they ask it, like what are the first 5 digits of pi, and it like taps them out with its hoof. So like it's clearly intelligent. And then at the end in this episode, it winds up, it tries to get into a person, and they fight it off, and so it runs away, and there's this dead person on the beach who's been like dead for like 3 days. So it gets into their body and then animates their body, and they start walking around. Yeah, it's really freaky. But it's basically like this idea of this power struggle between these two companies, dealing with these aliens that are, these aliens that are rolling around. There's a couple of different kinds of them. And then this idea of what life is and what immortality is. And it's very well done. It's really interesting. Not super a lot of gore, but I won't tell you there's none. But it is also TV, so they don't make it. It's not like one of the movies are. But it's really good. It's a really high quality show. I
like your recaps so that I don't have to watch it. Have they ever talked about where these aliens came from? But are they?
Yeah. So well, that's kind of the whole idea of Prometheus and Covenant is like. So there was this race of beings called engineers, and they created the xenomorphs. And so what happens to the xenomorph is there's the egg. You know, I know you don't watch the movies, but I know you're familiar with the kind of the imagery of it, right? There's the egg that the top opens up, and some idiot, like these are spacefaring engineers and scientists, and they always stick their face in the stupid thing. And then there's this thing called a face hugger, which jumps out, and it's like a giant crab, and it wraps itself around the victim's head. And then what we find out is that it has a tube that it sticks down the victim's esophagus into their lungs, and it plants a seed in the lungs that turn into a xenomorph. And then you get what's referred to as a chest burster, which pops out of the chest, and then that grows into one of the big monsters with the drippy jaws and everything like that. And turns out that it shares the DNA of the host, and those are created by these engineers. And then eventually the engineers went extinct. They had seeded these things all over, like these planets and moons and stuff like that, all over the galaxy. And that's where, you come into Alien, where Alien has gone to one of these planets, gets one of these things, collects some of these eggs, and then the whole thing kind of takes off. And then it kind of grows from there. And then there's a whole AVP, like the Predators are in the same universe as the Aliens. So there's like movies where they have both Predators and Aliens and stuff. So it's a whole big thing. But this is really back to the beginning, so to speak, in terms of like the ethos of the whole Alien universe, and it really dovetails in nicely with the first movie, I think. So there you go.
Well, I will ask that you just provide me an update every time we have an episode, and I can just live through how you see it. Works.
We could do that. Yeah, we'll do that its first season's over. It just ends, like the season finale was this week.
What else have you been watching?
But yeah, we can. So we've been watching. So Justin has got me on the show called The Gilded Age, which is crazy because it's definitely my kind of show, and I can't stop watching it.
What's that show that all the ladies watch on Netflix? No,
Downton Abbey?
The other one. Bridgerton.
I have no idea. I've never watched Bridgerton, but no, it's closer to Downton Abbey. And it's done by Julian Fellows, who's the same person who created Downton Abbey. So basically, it's a story of the Gilded Age, which is a period like after the Civil War, like the 1880s, 1890s, in there in New York, where like basically the aristocracy in New York and in other cities, but mainly in New York, tried to like copy the ideas of British aristocracy. And so there was like these, very wealthy people, old money people who had been, generational wealth, new money people, robber barons, railroad tycoons, those type of people. And it's about the old money establishment trying to keep the new money people out, except the new money people are richer than they are. And it's like the society has like all these rules and customs and what you can say and where you can go, and you can't be seen here, and you have to be seen here, and blah 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 blah. And it's tied up with a lot of actual events that really happened, and a lot of the characters are people that really existed at the time. So it's kind of this weird kind of like historical drama that's only part fiction. And it's actually a pretty interesting show, and it's got some really amazing talent in it. Everywhere you turn, there's like an actor that you'll recognize who's really good. So I'm watching that, and then my wife and I are watching what's it called, Dark Wolf, which is it's a second. So there was that series. There was the Terminal List.
Yeah. Right? I put that on my queue.
So this takes place. This is like takes place like 15 years before that. But it's like in the same continuity. It's like basically like how the team got together, or not 15 years before, like 10 years. It takes place in 2015. And it's like how big, like kind of like how the team got together and how whatever Chris Pratt is the EP on it. But he's not in it. He like did a cameo in the first episode, but it's mainly what's his name? God, I can't even think of his name right now off the top of my head. Taylor Kitsch and Tom Hopper are like the main characters in it. And then Luke Hemsworth, the Hemsworth
lesser known Hemsworth.
The lesser Hemsworth number 3, the one from Westworld. Our boy from Westworld though. And yeah, so that's a really good show, actually. I'm having a good time with that one. So those are my big 3 right now.
For me, it's Foundation, Invasion, and then The Punisher. Waiting for Abbott Elementary to start back, and that's about it. I haven't really seen too much. Oh, do want to ask, what are your thoughts on Forza being in Japan?
I'm surprised because there were some map leaks and everybody was thinking it was Florida. But thinking back, there were also rumors that it was going to be in Japan, like early on. So, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. Sounds like it's interesting. Do you see Tokyo drifting? I mean, Japan is a very big car culture place, right? They love the old cars. They love, the idea of like cruising culture and all that stuff. That is, very big for them. The idea of, have you seen those cars, with the wheels like really turned outward? Yeah. They call it like, it's like extreme negative caster is what it is.
Okay.
There's a Japanese phrase for it. I forget what it is, but that all started out in Japan. So it's definitely got its roots in Japan. So in terms of cruising culture, so it makes perfect sense that it's going to be in Japan. So I kind of look forward to it. I'm not the biggest fan of 5.
Yes.
I still go back and play 4 a lot. So hopefully they've taken some feedback from people on 5. And I just think with 5 they just try to do too much, and there was just so much to do, and none of it was really compelling. So I hope they kind of focus on it a little.
I'm okay with it. I still would like to see another game come back to America. And have you seen Costco is taking Xboxes off the shelves?
For what?
So they haven't come out and said why, but a lot of people think it's because of the price jumps. This is the second time they've raised the price this year. But what doesn't make sense to me is you're still selling a PS5 Pro, and that's still more expensive than an Xbox. Let me see. Let me look at the price of it. Let me check the price of a Xbox Series X.
Where does because I know I wonder if it's with tariffs and everything because Xbox is built in
They said it's because
China.
of tariffs. That's why they're raising the price. So as of right now, the price is $598 for a Series X 1 terabyte, but I guess it's going to get to $630, I think, or $640. So Costco has said, we don't have any plans going forward. Why is this ad here? We don't have any plans going forward to carry an Xbox console. It's a business decision.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would not sell it. Then somebody says that EB Games Canada has said that they'll just sell out whatever stock they have of Xbox. They don't plan to restock it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't get it. Like, why would you not sell the console? Like, I don't think Microsoft has done anything. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't.
So the thing that I can think of is that, you know, in a store, you know, shelf space is not an unlimited commodity, right? You've got X amount of square foot to put your stuff in, and those gaming consoles, they take up a lot of space because you have to have the games, you have to have the display, you have to have the playable. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like, here's the box. Right. And so they're probably taking a look at it and going, well, look, the PS5 and the Switch are outselling the Xbox. So we're better off utilizing our floor space for those products and expanding the reach of those products than this other product that is becoming a niche product because it's pricing itself out of the market.
It's going to go up to $650.
Yeah. People aren't going to go into Costco and buy a $650 console. You can still buy it on Amazon or buy it directly from Microsoft or buy it wherever. It's not like it's not going to be available, but at that price point, people aren't going out to Costco to buy
PlayStation 5 Pro is $749 at Target and $699 at GameStop. That make I don't understand that. Like you'll keep that console on the shelf
if that's the one that's selling.
That
I mean, it's
true.
just a matter of sales.
I think you're right.
If that's the one that's selling, you know, have you ever heard of long tail marketing? Okay, so imagine a graph, right? You know what a graph looks like, right? You have a vertical axis and a horizontal axis. So now imagine you have like a curve that starts up at the top, kind of close to the line. And then as it comes down, it moves further out. And then when it gets like almost to the bottom, it swings over to the horizontal. And then as it goes out to the right, it gets closer and closer to the line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's called a power law curve. And basically in marketing, you have the bottom line is like individual products marketing? And long tail marketing.
And that's what I'm
like you can look it up and you'll see the graph.
Okay, I see it.
And so you see the graph I'm talking about? Right. So going up is basically money, and going out is individual products. Okay? So what that's basically showing you is that some of your products are generating a lot of money, and other products are generating only a little bit of money because they only go up a little bit, right? And the farther out you go, the smaller it is because those are the products that only sell like, 100 units or 50 units or 200 units. But the ones closer to the left, they're selling all the units and they're making all the money. If you've got a fit, and the area underneath the curve is your money, is your revenue. If you have a store with a very limited amount of space, you are much better off stocking those products that have a tall vertical. Right? Now, if you're Amazon, where you're not warehousing your products for the most part because it's a marketplace. You could go all the way out to the right, and who cares if some guy sells 3 units because it doesn't cost you anything, right? Amazon made its money on the long tail, but a physical brick and mortar retail store can't do that. You'll find niche stores that we're only going to sell these little products over here. But for the most part, if you're a big box retailer like Costco or Target or whatever, Walmart, you want to be as far to the left as you can and underneath the high part of that curve. And every square foot in your store is precious, and every square foot you need to maximize your revenue for. And so if you have a product that's not selling, that thing's gone. And you've seen those displays for the game consoles, right? It's not just here's a shelf and there's like 3 game consoles on it. It's like a whole display. You have a cabinet, you have the games, you have monitors, you have places you can walk up and play the games. You've got accessories, you've got controllers, you've got cables, you've got chargers. It takes up a lot of floor space to market one of those. And if that product's not selling and I could better utilize that floor space to sell one of these other products, that's what I'm going to do. I can still sell this thing online, but I'm not going to take up valuable floor space to sell it. So it kind of makes sense to me. It's unfortunate that this is where we're at, but I don't not understand the business decision behind it.
I know these guys say they're going to release another console, but I don't see it.
I thought Microsoft wanted to get out of the console.
They said Sarah Bond had something last month, and she said they're all the way in on the next console. It's going to be the most advanced console ever, which they say every generation. They're releasing those 2 handhelds. Have you seen the price?
Yeah, no.
The high end one is $1,000, and the other one I think is $599.
Yikes!
And I'm like,
yikes!
Why would I buy that when I can get a Switch for $499? And you're telling me you're going to port a good number of your games to the Switch too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the point.
I don't
understand the idea of we're all in on the console, but we're porting our games off to these other ones on day 1 or month 1.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It's not like Forza 6 is going to be exclusive on the Xbox for 6 months. It's going to be a month.
It's only a month? I thought it said longer than that.
I thought they said it was going to be a month.
Forza. From what I've seen, they said most of the games are day and date PC. All right, so this says
right. Actually, I think it's launching on the PC first.
It says first Xbox and PC. So it just says not on PS5 day and date.
I thought it was going to be a month. Yeah.
And
all right, maybe it'll be longer, but
Indiana Jones was I want to say maybe the spring or this, and then it's just now come out on PlayStation. They
right. So I mean that I could see if you've got 6 months or something.
They still haven't released Starfield on PlayStation. Yeah,
really.
But the Gears of War remaster was released day and date on Xbox and PlayStation 5. I'm trying to think what other big games came out on Game Pass that were. I don't think there have been too many day and date. Halo still hasn't shown up on PlayStation 5. Matter of fact, I got my Xbox on. Let me look right now. But the interesting thing is, have you heard of Helldivers 2? Hello? Have you heard of Helldivers 2?
Yes.
So that was a really big Sony exclusive, and that just came out on Xbox, and it sold really well. So Sony's not completely out on releasing their games on the Xbox, but they've made it clear, like, you're not going to see Spider-Man, like Last of Us. They still feel like those are the things that they need to absolutely keep. And I kind of wish Microsoft would take that approach as well. Like, certain things you have to have an Xbox or Game Pass for.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, especially their their internal games. It's one thing if they're buying a game from an outside developer, but worse is all in-house.
Yeah, you should make them come to your platform or at least get Game Pass for that.
Absolutely.
Going through the list, seeing what's also on PS5. I think it's only like maybe 10 games.
What, that have gone from PS5 to Xbox?
The other way around.
Oh, that have gone from Xbox to PS5?
Like, they did Grounded, but that's a multiplayer game. Hellblade's on both systems. Actually, still haven't finished that Indiana Jones game, and I need to.
Well, Bethesda has said they did a Twitch stream last week, I think, where they said that they have that they're still supporting Starfield and they have exciting things for it. I wonder if that's going to be the announcement.
So, because there was supposed to be a second DLC story, and I have a feeling when it goes to PS5, that's when that second DLC story would drop. You know what? South of Midnight didn't show up on PS5, and that's an Xbox exclusive. I'm interested to see what happens with the Blade game. Do they keep that on Xbox only? Because to me, if Sony's not letting Spider-Man come over, then if they have that license for Blade, then they should keep that to themselves as well. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they price this new console at too, because things are getting expensive.
Yeah. Like,
that just sounds insane. $700 for a console. At that point, I don't know, you might start looking at a PC.
Exactly. And see, that's where I thought Microsoft was headed. Like, they seemed to be all in on, like, we would rather you just play on a PC.
I thought that too. And it doesn't.
And, like, we're just going to do software and get out of the hardware game mainly. But I'm surprised that they're kind of doubling down on another console. And I think that's a kind of dangerous place to put Sony, because if they're freed from, like, the hardware wars, Sony, and there's people playing like these games on PC, Sony's going to need to be able to, there's almost no upside for Sony there.
And they're now putting a lot of their games on PC as well.
Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. So then if Microsoft and Sony both wind up being like, third party software, companies to feed PC gaming, I don't know. And then where does that leave Nintendo?
Keep doing their own things,
because Nintendo's like the tightest of them in terms of proprietary
stuff. Still using cartridges.
They could wind up being kind of left out in the cold a little bit.
I mean, heck, as long as they've got Mario, Zelda, they're always going to be fine.
Yeah. Is there a lot of growth in that?
Yeah, I think the Switch 2, I mean, the original Switch is like right under the PS2 in all-time sales. I think the PS2 is like the all-time leading console sold. Let me see. As of June 30th, Nintendo Switch has sold 153 million units worldwide. It's the PlayStation 2, and they sold over 160 million. So, I mean, Nintendo's not doing bad at all.
No.
That dang plumber. It's crazy. Man.
All right, folks. Well, I think we've had I think we're gonna wrap it.
Remember, James Gunn was right. I mean, Zack Snyder was right. Absolutely.
Zack Snyder was right.
We all owe an apology. All right, folks. You have a good one. Take it easy,
brother. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Peace.
Later, folks.